Okay.
I'm thinking
We'll take it
rock
from here.
tomorrow night.
We can stay in.
Nice junk.
No.
Just try.
So you want to come here for a half day? Full day?
Everything you see here is a piece of Aquila City's history. Welcome to the Co-Heritage Museum. I offer a brief tour, and I'm happy to discuss the city's history as well. Very well. People are proud of their history here, so we get more visitors than I was expecting. So it gets pretty busy here, especially with school field trips. Aquila City was founded over 150 years ago by Solomon Coe, a scientist and explorer from Earth. Along with other settlers, Coe built the structures you see in the part of the city we call the core. Those proud buildings still stand today. The planet was dangerous, so they built a wall around their settlement. Eventually, they ran out of space and started building outside the wall. There were so many buildings that they had to build another, larger wall, forming a second outer ring around the growing city. Of course, the city didn't stop growing, and before long, the third wall, the outer wall you see today, was constructed. Today, Aquila City is the proud capital of the Free Star Collective, and the Council of Governors continues to meet here when they need to. Most people know Solomon Coe as the founder of Aquila City and the father of the Free Star Collective. He was an astrophysicist who lived on Earth in a place called Wyoming. Solomon was born around the time people first started living in space. Later in life, he designed starships, and when Earth was in peril, those ships helped to save humanity by taking them to new homes in the stars. The bravery and heroism it took to save humanity. Whew, goosebumps. During the Great Exodus, Solomon came to this world. He named our star Cheyenne, which was also a place on Earth, and gave Aquila its name too. He and some others built the settlement that would go on to become Aquila City, and his descendants still live here today. There are some things I would kill to have. I mean, wait, not literally. But I would pay a lot for. You see, the Coe family lost a treasure trove of old historic documents ages ago, and those documents would be priceless to have here. I'll pay far more than anyone else would, that's for certain. Jacob Coe and I have talked at length, and his great-grandfather was a troubled man. He sold off various historic documents to cover debts. They could be anywhere. If you find any of that trove of documents, I will pay dearly for it. Thank you. Think of the future generations that could benefit from seeing such important history. That is not something I expected to hear today. I assume you're somehow associated with the United Colonies? I've received some odd messages of late. Several that bordered on being incomprehensible. Honestly, I thought it was some kind of strange prank until now. A bunch of gibberish about dire consequences and frequency modulation and genetic reconstruction. It all came across as rather unhinged. Well, I'm afraid you've wasted your time because I'm not authorized nor particularly inclined to release any of our pieces. That includes 100-year-old tree branches. Sorry, but it's staying in storage. Please feel free to have a look around. It's the reason I started this place. I have artifacts that date all the way back to the time of Solomon Coe himself. Hi! Please feel free to have a look around. It's the reason I started this place. Welcome to the Coe Heritage Museum. I offer a brief tour, and I'm happy to discuss the city's history as well. Everything you see here is a piece of Aquila City's history. Artifacts that date all the way back to the time of Solomon. I hear what you're saying, but I'm afraid it's out of the question. Handing over that branch is starting to look pretty good. Sorry, it's just too risky. I guess I don't want to impede anything important. I can't believe I'm doing this. Please return it in one piece.
Solomon Coe really? Mirror Wolf at the Low House could.
Special orders. You're coming with me. Stand down and prepare for immediate transport to our vessel. I've been authorized to inform you that you are being transferred to the UC Vigilance. You'll find out more when you get there. Other than that, I'm not at liberty to divulge any additional information. We have orders to transport you and your vessel to your final destination, the UC Vigilance. Any deviation from those orders on your part will be considered an act of hostility and will be met with aggressive force. Smart decision. Stand by to be boarded and transferred.
I'm telling you, the commander's got plans for this loser. Why else would he be going through all this trouble?
I still don't understand why he trusts a criminal. Seems like too much of a risk.
Stop worrying and keep an eye on our guest. I'll be right back.
You just sit tight. The commander wants to have a little chat.
The prisoner's ready, sir.
I hope you're comfortable. We have a lot to discuss. I'm your ticket out of the mess you've gotten yourself into. That's all you need to know for now. Highly perceptive. Let me add that to your list of skills. Speaking of which, let's see what we're working with here. Says here that you spent several years as a soldier. That means you understand how to respect the chain of command. Good. I also see that you've mined on Vectera, and now you're with Constellation. You've certainly been quite busy. Oh, and look at that. Right at the bottom of this list is the criminal incident that landed you in my crosshairs. I will, when I'm ready. Now that we have that out of the way, let me introduce myself. My name is Commander Kibwe Ikande, and I'm in charge of this operation for UC SysDev. Are you familiar with what we do? United Colonies System Defense. Does that help you figure out exactly what it is we do? Actually, that's something new we're trying. I figured we needed to branch out a bit, broaden our horizons. UC SysDev is a division of the UC Navy. While they handle the big picture stuff, we deal with a very particular problem. The Crimson Fleet. That convict is where you enter the picture. On the books, they maintain combat-ready spaceborne forces to deter aggression and ensure the safety of the United Colonies. What all that fancy claptrap means is that they're the ones who fight in the wars to keep our territories secure. No, you don't. Not yet, anyway. We've been prodding at the Crimson Fleet for years, trying to take them down one ship at a time. But we barely scratched the surface. If we can get someone on the inside, we have a shot at finding a loose thread we can pull to bring it all down. If the military rolls in and attacks the Crimson Fleet, we'd have a full-scale war on our hands. That means losses, heavy losses, that the United Colonies can't afford. Not for me, for yourself. Look, I'm going to make this simple. Agree to work for UC SysDev, and together we take down the Crimson Fleet. Refuse, and I tell these guys to throw you into the nearest lockup. Might even tack on an extra few hundred credits to your fine. I'm not coercing you into doing anything. I'm simply giving you a chance to redeem yourself. So, what do you say? You going to work with me, or should I find someone else? If I didn't think you had a chance, I would have left you in lockup. You're just going to have to follow your instincts and trust me. You aren't leaving until I have an answer. Smart choice. I'm going to have one of my men escort you to the operations center.
I strongly suggest that you don't give him any trouble. And don't bother trying to leave the ship. I think you'll find all access to the docking area is fully restricted.
All right, let's go. So, you took the op instead of serving the time. Gonna be the commander's new role, huh? Infiltrating a bunch of pirates. You've got a lot of guts. Still, it makes you wonder, especially with the stories that go around. Yes? Like the one about how the fleet deals with informants by lashing them to the hull of a ship, and then slowly letting the air out of their suit. Could you imagine a worse way to go? I know I couldn't. But I wouldn't worry about it. Since the commander handpicked you, I'm guessing you can hold your breath for a really long time, right?
Yes, what? Back in basic training, I had the record for fleet kills.
Think this isn't a Starliner cruise? All right, this is as far as I go. Take the lift up to Ops. Commander Ikande should be waiting for you.
Excuse me.
Ah, there you are. Excellent. Now that we've established your level of cooperation with us, I want to introduce you to your new home. This is the Operations Center of the UC Vigilance, SysDef's nerve center dedicated to the destruction of the Crimson Fleet. We are currently in the Sol system, in deep orbit around Phobos. As to why, I'll explain momentarily. Which is precisely why we're taking a more clandestine approach. We need eyes and ears inside the Crimson Fleet. Someone who can feed us information, evidence, and expose their weaknesses. The catch is that you can't just knock on their front door and ask for an application. Getting inside is going to take some finesse. It certainly does. So listen up. Our intelligence has managed to find a possible opening into the Crimson Fleet through Saoirse Bowden, one of their contacts. She works for the Trade Authority in Sidonia, so you'll be using a container of Aurora we've loaded on your ship to get her attention. That's classified. Suffice to say that the smuggler who was previously holding it will be spending the rest of their life in prison. Aurora is a Class A controlled substance that's illegal to transport outside of Neon, a city on Volai. Get caught with this stuff aboard a ship, and you're looking at some serious fines. That's right. So it'll be your job to convince this person that you're the real deal. Once you bluff your way into the Crimson Fleet, then the operation proceeds to evidence gathering. That's where my second-in-command, Lieutenant Gillian Toft, comes into the picture. She'll explain everything you need to know. Let's just say my superiors need proof that engaging the Crimson Fleet is a larger priority than they're willing to admit. If we shove enough concrete evidence under their noses, they'll have no choice but to allocate the resources that I've requested. At the same time, we can use the evidence to arrest members of the Crimson Fleet, weakening them enough to strike a fatal blow. If I didn't have confidence in your abilities, we wouldn't be having this conversation. Remember, this entire operation rests on your ability to infiltrate the Crimson Fleet and bring us the evidence we need to take them down. Fine. Whatever gets the job done. Look, before you begin, I want to make something perfectly clear. As an undercover operative for UC SysDef, you'll be expected to follow our code of conduct and ethics. Allow yourself to stray too far off the path, and you stand a good chance of spiraling out of control. To put it simply, you can't go into every situation with guns blazing. Think before you act. Calculate what you're doing and pull the trigger only when it's absolutely necessary. At the end of the day, your primary goal is taking down the Crimson Fleet. That's the greater good. The Crimson Fleet doesn't follow the rules. They only abide by one thing: money. All of their morals and social graces fall by the wayside in pursuit of their greed. At first glance, this can appear quite enticing, so I'm warning you not to get lured into their trap. Think you can handle that? I don't want promises. I'm just asking you to think. Anyway, it's time to hand you over to Lieutenant Toft. She'll brief you about the details of the evidence-gathering portion of the operation. Now, get out of here, and good luck. For your own safety, nobody but myself and the crew of the Vigilance will be aware that you're working for the United Colonies. Basically, if you land in jail, you're going to have to deal with the fines. All we know is that she's been with the Trade Authority for years, which means she's been privy to some seriously shady deals. She's shrewd and she's diligent. The only reason we were able to connect her with the Crimson Fleet at all was thanks to an informant. I'm afraid she's the best lead we've got. That's easy to answer. You don't. We'll be monitoring your activities from the Vigilance and attempting to keep it within your vicinity. When you feel you've gathered enough evidence, and at the completion of your assignments, head back here for a debrief. Beyond that, you're completely on your own. You were saying you have permission to speak. Dismissed.
Pardon. Howdy.
Yes? Okay.
All right, we don't have a lot of time, so I need you to listen up. While you're working undercover, it's imperative that you gather as much evidence as possible. If you find any records that look suspicious or incriminating, you bring it to me. Is that understood? You better make it, because Commander Akande cashed in all his chips to get this operation off the ground. I want data slates, computer downloads, handwritten notes. Hell, I'll take anything if it'll get those bastards thrown into the brig. For the sake of the settled systems, I hope you're right. That minor skirmish you had with them on Vectera was nothing compared to the death and destruction those pirates leave behind. If you've seen what I've seen, you'd understand why I'm pushing you so hard. Yes, of course. I'm sorry if I brought up any painful memories. Oh, one last thing. A bit of good news, actually. Commander Akande has authorized a credit disbursement for each piece of evidence that you return, as compensation for your efforts. Well, that's just it. You're not career military, are you? And speaking frankly, you're completely out of pocket during this operation. You'll be paying for your own supplies and other unexpected incidentals. So, if I were you, I'd stop asking questions and accept the compensation. It's not generous, it's motivational. Commander Akande's idea. All right, we've loaded a container of Aurora into your ship's cargo hold. We're also providing you with a sample you can use to tease the goods. We've cleared your ship for launch. Proceed to Sidonia. Make contact with Saoirse Bowden, and with any luck, she'll point you to the Crimson Fleet. That should do it. You're dismissed. Not really, no. I've learned to keep my personal experiences separate from the job. That's a fine point, but in my defense, I was under orders to make sure we weren't pulling some kind of psycho into the mix. And honestly, there are far bigger things at stake than my personal feelings towards the Crimson Fleet. Let's just stick to the job at hand and concentrate on the mission. But, maybe we can talk about it some other time, okay? Don't worry, the container's been registered with UC Security, so you shouldn't have any trouble. Even if you're scanned. Of course, if we find out you tried to sell it to someone outside the boundaries of this particular operation, well, I don't think I need to tell you the consequences of making that mistake. We'll be keeping them close at hand until this operation is complete. So, we'll be holding them in the Vigilance's brig. If you're feeling particularly ruthless, you could always head down there and say hello. I'm sure they'll be thrilled to see you. I'll be here if you have any more questions.
Someone on SSNN was saying it was in front
Hello.
of
Pardon. Yes? What?
Welcome to UC Space. Maintain your current course while we scan your ship's cargo. Scan complete. Go ahead and land.
Aquila City has what we need. Have you paid a visit to Miss Castler in Aquila City? Yes, of course. I'll see that it is returned to her in one piece. Well, perhaps minus a few shavings. Now, I just need a moment to analyze this and synthesize an audio response to our friend here. Right, so we'll feed in a sample. Now the program will incorporate the genetic and chemical makeup of the sample, extrapolating the size and structure of the original tree. This was put together rather hastily, so complete accuracy is impossible. And there it is. Our best hope for a positive solution to this mess. So, we now have a simulated response to our tree. All that's left is to play it. An excellent question. I have been wondering myself. I've been forced to listen to this SSNN kiosk chatter incessantly this entire time. I think it could be put to better use. We don't have time to go through the proper channels, but if you can find a terminal and get this uploaded into their system, it might do the trick. Then I fear all this hard work will be for naught. I would hate to see this tree come down, but we may be out of options. I have no doubt that you will.
My shift goes long again, my girl's
You can't go in. You just can't.
But David's my friend. He writes me.
I hate to break it to you, but his PA is the one who signs all those cards and headshots. Mr. Barron's a very busy and important man.
But I came all this way.
Listen, I might be able to hook you up with some merch. Maybe get you a ticket to a speaking gig he's got. That's all I can do.
You are the best! David's amazing. And I hear he's single.
Welcome to SSNN.
I can't believe I'm here. SSNN.
David Barron is the most famous journalist in the settled systems.
It's important that the people of the United Colonies can trust their primary news source. Administrations come and go in the big city, but SSNN is here to stay.
I've just got a feeling about you. You
have a story to tell. Welcome to SSNN, where the news never sleeps. If you're part of the David Barron fan club, try not to inflate his ego too much. He's liable to burst. Sorry. Long day. Longer night. How about a do-over? Let's take a look at you. You're not from around here. My guess is you really work for a living. I bet you have a story or two. I have a feeling about such things. Sounds like an old pickup line. But it really has, hasn't it? I'm interested only in primary sources. So things you've seen and or done that are newsworthy. No hearsay. So, what do you got for me? Looks like some Crimson Fleet brainiac figured out it's easier to hit stationary targets than dogfighting in the field. And you are an eyewitness with the courtesy to find us instead of being chased down. Refreshing. So what were the pirates doing there? It's not their usual MO. Bad blood between the fabled Constellation and the Crimson Fleet? Has all the markings of what we in the SSNN call a story. So what's your role in all this? Part of a tour group? Wow, an actual member of Constellation graces my office. Do we bow? Maybe smoke a pipe? So we've covered the basics. How about any harrowing tales of daring do? How'd a bunch of miners triumph? How heartwarming. Constellation banding together with some dusty miners? I like it. This is a good local story. Plucky miners band together and punch above their weight. If you ever get more stories like this, drop by. And take this to cover any incidentals, or other creative ways to pad out an expense report. You talk and get paid, I spread the news. It's a classic win-win. You certainly get around. I'm surprised that branch has any customers left the number of times it's been held up. But I thought the Rangers had finally managed to get a handle on it. I heard there was a standoff. That true? I'd say I'm surprised, but this is my total lack of surprise face. What happened to the robbers? The Shaw gang? Wait, what? You cleaned them out? Jesus. I'm sorry, but I might have to dig up some witnesses to confirm that. Anyway, these things are often messy. Any customers or Galbank staff get hurt? That's really good news. Usually, well, it's a different kind of story. You were there. You were involved in resolving it. Any comment on the Freestar Rangers? Having another high-profile robbery in their own backyard is a bit of a black eye. Huh. That's really good to know. Stories like this always fire up public outrage and appetite. Thanks for the interview. And take this. You have another story for me? Dear Lord, everyone wants to know about Baron. He's a smart guy. He cares about what he's reporting. He's way too damn cozy with the UC, and that's a problem for us staying impartial. My biggest beef with him is he's credited with everything he reports, and he doesn't lift a finger to correct that impression. We're short-staffed, overworked, and trying to report on a million things at once. Not to mention there's a constant battle with the powers that be to maintain our journalistic principles. So, things are just swell.
I have a feeling we'll see each other again. I will meet David. It's going to happen.
Situation from the ball. We've done it! I'm already seeing reductions in the strength of the vibrations. The tree is calming down. I can hardly believe that worked. I did my best, but it's not magic. There are no guarantees. I don't know. We've been in uncharted territory this whole time. That doesn't stop now. With the immediate crisis hopefully over, I can slow down and review everything we've learned. And certainly, I'll be keeping a much closer eye on our friend going forward. And you have saved this tree and advanced our scientific knowledge of our environment. Noble work across the board. You have my gratitude and that of every citizen in New Atlantis, though they don't know it.
I hope you are satisfied with the quarters available to you.
Ready to head out there? Or did you still need time on your own? We'll need to head to Mast. Check in with the Vanguard recruiting office where my contact works. And listen, whatever you were before or whatever you do once you're out there, I don't care. So long as you don't bring UC security to our doorstep. Every member of Constellation is their own conscience. Understood? I mean, Constellation has a roster of members who haven't always been on the right side of their respective society. We're risk takers. Some of us have seen the inside of a jail cell more than once. If you join us, it means you're committed to our mission. In exchange, we give you latitude in your choice of means. Those are the rules. Advance humanity's knowledge to the best of your ability. As long as you do that, I'm not here to judge you. Now, let's you and I get over to Mast. We need to talk to John Tuala in Mast. Fine by me. My parents considered themselves to be enlightened, but their lives were so busy they rarely pursued their beliefs. By the time I was old enough to start questioning these things, the idea of following any organized religion was almost an afterthought. It's not that I don't want to believe in anything, it's that my scientific mind is often at odds with my spiritual center. Having been out there, in the Starfield, seeing all those magnificent wonders with my own eyes, I need answers, not religious theory. I'm sorry if that disappoints you, but don't worry. While we're on this journey together, I fully intend to respect your religious beliefs. You mean, apart from being the chair of Constellation for the past 5 years? Well, let's see. I pride myself with my aptitude for astrodynamics, calculating optimal trajectories for grav jumping. That's been quite useful in the past. And as far as planetary exploration, my area of expertise is botany. So, don't worry. I won't let you eat anything that might put you in the hospital. Exploration is my entire life. I consider it both a career and recreation. That being said, I will make a confession, but you have to promise to keep it between us. Before I graduated from school, I was in a band. And no, I don't mean the school band. I mean a rock band. We called ourselves Ironic Comet. A ridiculous name, I know. But we were just a bunch of teenagers getting together and having fun. And before you ask, no, I wasn't the lead singer. I actually played the drums. The band never really went anywhere, of course, but those were good times, and I remember them fondly. Very well. Next time, then. You can thank Barrett for that, if he's still around to thank when this is all said and done. Honestly, he took this seriously before any of us. It was at his urging that we started doing deep space scans. I will admit, it was something of a shock to see Barrett taking anything seriously. So long.
I am at your service, Captain. Captain, now that you are a member of Constellation, I am at your service. No additional protocols necessary. Also, given the likelihood that you will be out in unsettled space, it might be beneficial to go over exploration outpost development, in case you ever need to build a base for field research. The exploration of an unknown planet can be a major undertaking. By building an outpost, you will be able to construct scanning equipment, resource extractors, and defenses. It is even possible to set up multiple outposts capable of manufacturing, allowing you to build advanced equipment. The scan booster is the most obvious, as it will enable you to detect landmarks and other points of interest from further away. Beyond that, extractors will allow you to collect raw materials of various types, while fabricators enable the manufacturing. A particularly prosperous outpost may even warrant the construction of cargo links, allowing you to share resources between other outposts you have built. A planetary scan will reveal the presence of key inorganic resources, although rarer elements will be harder to find without training. And while a scan may detect the presence of life on a planet, you will have to analyze the native plants and animals yourself to know what compounds they produce. I hope you are satisfied with the quarters available to you. My primary function has been to support and protect Barrett during his travels. I am currently unable to do so. That is as capable as I can be of missing anyone. I believe Barrett would find your question amusing. Barrett has, thus far, survived every mission on which we have embarked. It is therefore evident that my efforts have been successful. I suspect that Barrett would disagree with how necessary my intervention has been in any given situation. I arrived along with many material goods purchased by the group's previous chair, Malcolm Livingstone. Despite several significant system replacements and upgrades, I have been online for 43 years. Captain, I will proceed to my assigned post.
Citizens of the United Colonies to the best of free lives in all your actions as members of the United
Sarah, good to see you. Who's your friend?
Hopefully Constellation's newest member. Thought I'd run through some legwork together.
Another space explorer. Hey, you ever think of joining up with the Vanguard? Help the United Colonies, earn some credits, even get your UC citizenship? United Colonies volunteer fleet. Independent captains enlist, get to use their own ships, and the UC provides them with sustained work and credits. And put in your time, and you're guaranteed UC citizenship and everything that comes with it. Discounts on UC goods and medical services, chance to own a place in New Atlantis. Only way a foreign captain could even dream of seeing those sorts of benefits. So, you want in? All right. Can't blame me for trying, right? I mean, I still haven't given up on getting Sarah to re-enlist.
It's a game we play. He asks, I say no.
Here's what I got for you two. Vanguard volunteer by the name of Moera. Helps patrol the old neighborhood. Sol, Mars, Neptune, you know.
The Sol system? Which admiral did he upset to get that posting?
He's Martian, born and raised. Not like I can get anyone else to care. Word is he's got some fancy metal ornament he's been showing off to the old grounders. Matches that description Sarah gave me. You kidding? Lowest posting request rate in the whole fleet. Only thing there the UC cares about is Mars. And no one wants to go to Mars. They want to get off Mars. Oh, he goes way back. Think he was recruit number 81 or something. Sol system is a lot of planets, but a vet like Moera will be checking in at Sidonia on the regular.
You mean hitting the bars, don't you, John?
Hey, nothing wrong with a little refresh between patrols. You'll have to ask him, but Vanguard volunteers have retrieval rights if they get into a scrap. Wouldn't be surprised if he found it off of a pirate or something like that. Yeah, bring a coloring book. You get so used to seeing red, you'll forget what blues and greens look like. Anything for Sarah. UC always takes care of its own. Even the prodigal children.
Oh, brother.
I'm serious about that recruitment offer, by the way. You just come talk to me when you're ready. UC is a good friend to have.
Been a long time since I've been to Mars. Sol system doesn't get a lot of traffic. Until later.
How's it going?
I've flown across most of the settled systems in all manners of spacecraft, and yet I still get sick on the nat.
Ever wonder how the Crimson Fleet seems to behave ever again?
Captain, do you require my assistance?
To lift off when you are, Captain.
Pressure holding. Turn off force mode. Orbital insertion completed. Drive spinning down.
Welcome to UC Space. Maintain your current course while we scan your ship's cargo. Scan complete. Welcome to Mars.
Good to go for now.
Sidonia is an industrial town. The people there tend... Maybe another time.
Captain, hello, hi. Please disregard. I attempted an informal greeting, but I am dissatisfied with the results. You may. I will do my best to provide satisfactory answers. You may ask me anything. I am programmatically incapable of keeping secrets. Constellation has seen to it that I possess a near-encyclopedic knowledge of human history, art, culture, and science. May I answer a question for you? I have been programmed to comprehend all modern and ancient human languages. The only exception is body language. My body is crafted from reinforced metal, and therefore incompatible with such forms of expression. Logically, I believe the correct answer to be the airplane, followed shortly by the computer. Humans could not have become a spacefaring species without them. Illogically speaking, I am inclined to believe that books were your greatest invention. I have spent a good deal of time processing works of science fiction. They make good case studies in how your species could have made a mess of its entry into the stars in different ways than you did in reality. I am looking at one. I hope that was a suitable response. Constellation did not equip me with a sense of humor. I have done my best to mimic Barrett's. This is a difficult question to parse. I do not experience enjoyment. However, I find that the music of ancient Japan has a pleasantly mathematical sound. The same is true of the works of European composers from the Baroque period. I have dedicated significant time to processing these compositions and understanding their structure. Travel safely.
Surprised to find such a delightful spot in this rather drab
what's this going to run?
If there are no other surprises, mid-5 figures.
5 figures? 5? Fine. Do it. I'll be at the bar. Find me when it's done.
We're on it, sir.
Wonder where this will all lead. Goodbye.
Going to have... I thought it was just a couple of nests. Going to have to lug cargo across half the universe to pay for this cleaning.
Building Sidonia completely underground was a clever way of keeping the city. Stay away from the Sixth Circle unless you're a minor. Or at least don't come crying to me if anything happens to you.
Yeah, do you have any idea how far we've traveled? How much money we spent to hitch a ride to this dusty red road? We were told there were jobs.
Look, I get it. But we just filled our last openings. I think we have a couple contracts ending at the end of next month. It's possible they may not extend them.
This is bullshit. I got a wife and kids at home. We can't wait almost 2 months for a job that may not even exist then.
Hey,
I thought it was just a couple of nests.
I can do. It's out of my hands. You can take it up with corporate. Sorry, but I have to get back to it.
Come on, forget it. Let's get out of here. Maybe it's not too late to catch a ride back home.
Screw this.
I know you were counting on that Sidonia Khazin
It's been going on about the heart of Mars again. Is she gonna give it a rest?
This can't make any smooth at the old rate.
I hear you.
To Mars, they say. The day's great, they say. So's the Brickman.
People always ask me what I think about mining. It rocks.
Serving drinks here for over 40 years. Few places can offer that kind of stability.
Excuse me.
Got cold beers and good atmosphere. Not much more you could ask for. Everything. I make it a point not to sell crap. We got beer, wine, and spirits. We don't do too many fancy mixed drinks, at least not the kind you get in Neon or New Atlantis. It's my belief that the only booze worth drinking doesn't need to be mixed with something else to taste good. Plenty. But if I went blabbing them to any rando that walks into my bar, no one would ever tell me anything around here. You don't do this job for 45 years by losing your customers' trust. You don't guess. You know that. And you better know it if you want to keep drinking at my bar. If you ain't been around, went off on patrol, hasn't been back in since. We're starting to think it might be time to pour one out to the blackest sea. You in the service? I know the feeling, but you just get so used to losing people. Look, nothing more I'd love than to help out a fellow Martian, especially one that's missing. But,
He has a tab, and you don't know if he's coming back.
it's a lot of credits, okay? I let it slide for a long time because he's a regular, but if I'm out all that money, I got problems. What do you say? Life on Sidonia ain't hard enough. You gonna guilt trip me? Guess I should ask you the same question. You paying or what? I want him found. I do. All right, I'll give up. Just trying to earn a living here. Last time he was here, Moera kept yelling about the Lady of Love, singing songs, all that kind of thing.
Venus? That's only one planet. Hardly an entire patrol route.
I got what I got, okay?
Fine. We'll make do.
Hey there. I could use a break.
If you're going to use the elevators or stairs to reach the other levels, try to keep
Particle detonation concluded. It is now safe to resume activity.
All right, let's get this crate into space.
Struts retract. Let's get out of here. Apogee kick complete. Orbit steady.
cluster of ships. Varun Zealots. You ever run into one? Completely devoted to a deity they call the Great Serpent. The devourer of the unbelievers. I'll let you guess what happens if they spot us. No other ship readings in the area. And I doubt they'd be so calm if a Vanguard had flown by recently. No idea. They appear and attack people seemingly at random. House Varun technically has diplomatic ties to the other factions, but the Zealots are outside of their control. Or so they say. No, but I think I see something else that might. There's a UC satellite beacon hovering distressingly close to those Varun ships. If we can get close enough to it, we could download its logs and figure out where our Vanguard was heading to next. Easy. 3 ships to our 1. We cut down to minimal ship power and creep forward, they might not notice us getting closer. But yes, worst case, we fight our way through. Offering for the Great Serpent.
Grab jump offline.
orbiting Earth's moon. This is where the first interstellar ships were made. People still use their modules, even though their star yard hasn't been running in forever. It's all ancient history now, but the Earth lost its atmosphere. It started sputtering out into space. Humanity had about 50 years to evacuate the planet. That's kind of how the United Colonies government started, managing the exodus. Earth is more or less a dust ball now. You can occasionally find a few remnants of the world we left behind on the surface, but not much. Well, if you want to take a little detour, I admit I wouldn't say no. Just remember, we need to find Vanguard Moara and that artifact when we're done.
Let's put this bird on the ground.
Hello. Captain, greetings. Return soon.
Still need to find any sign of Vanguard Moara. Keep your eyes open. No, it's fine. Go ahead. Bye for now. you could build one of those.
Hello, Captain.
Howdy. Howdy. Looking to buy? Sure does. His full name is Groneveld Hubble von Houten III, but I call him Grumble for short. He's a grumpy old lizard, so the name fits, but he's also family. He was Ma's pet. She found him back when he was still yolking the egg, saved him from poachers, pardon the pun. But Ma didn't stop there. She hatched him, fed him, and raised him from a wee little babe to the big, grumpy boy he is now. When she passed, she left me two things, her ship and her pet. So long as I have him by my side, I feel like she's right there with me. Domesticated and docile, but that don't mean I can bring him just anywhere. There's laws against this sort of thing. Half of them don't make no sense, but they're still laws, and you'd be a fool not to follow them. Besides selling you stuff, I'm just taking him on a little walk so he can stretch out his little feet. He don't do so well on the ship. He may have 6 eyes, but he's blonder than a bat in a rock concert. Less is more, I guess. Anyway, as soon as he gets on board, he just starts running into things, bumping crates, banging knees, pushing buttons. He uses his tongue to navigate more than anything, so if he licks your boot, he don't mean nothing by it. That's just his way of getting from A to B. What about all this, huh?
I hope you weren't expecting a warm welcome. These guys can be pretty rude. 71 days and counting. The job was supposed to take 60, but there were some structural problems with the site. The foreman says we'll be out of here in another 2 weeks, but I'm not holding my breath. It's fine. Better than most gigs you can get on parole. The foreman's kind of an ass, though. Guy thinks he's tough because he's ex-military, but he wouldn't last a week in Neon. All right, here's what I've got. Go in peace. Hey, interested in making some credits? One of our best got so fed up with the supervisor, they plain stormed off to God knows where. I mean, we all sympathize with them, but we need them back, and pronto. We need someone able to convince him to come home. We'll pay, and pay well. If you don't want to do it, that makes two of us. I owe you one.
Hi, I guess.
Hi.
Nice to meet you. I know they sent you, but I'm sick and tired of how that place is run. I mean, out here's no picnic, but returning home? Not interested. I'll hear you out. You really know how to lay on a guilt trip, don't you? I'm not an unreasonable person, you know. No, I'm not responsible for any of them. They can leave too if they want to. Enough talking. I'm not going back, okay? You stay safe. I got no beef with you. You traveled a ways to find me. I don't see what else we have to talk about. I could work with that. Thank you. It'll be safer if we travel back together. You lead the way.
Old star yards and other abandoned stations in space are always home to something. Be on your guard. Talk to you later.
sigh of relief around here now that we're all back together. Thank you. Here you go, for a job well done. Thanks again. There's no way we'll get this job done on time with a crew this size. Farrowlight hired us to build a factory. They're expanding their operation. I don't think I'm supposed to tell you that, but they're not paying me enough to keep secrets. Sure, you can get the hell off my site. We're on a tight deadline here, and we don't need any distractions. Later.
Excuse me. Yes.
Captain, it is pleasant to see you. Thanks, Captain.
2 steps in, and we're already looking at a corpse. Okay, it's not Vanguard Moara. Looks like spacers were scavenging around here and someone else came in and said hello. Oh, this won't be your last encounter with the spacer crew. They pillage abandoned facilities and shoot anyone who gets in their way. They're even less organized than the Crimson Fleet. Just countless desperate groups scavenging and killing to survive. We still need to find any sign of Vanguard Moara. Keep your eyes open. Bye-bye. doing here? Scavenging a star yard is a bit low end for them.
might as well take what we can.
me what you got.
clutter there, or should we find some more? and ends. Time to get something.
This is Vanguard Moira. Sorry if I had to reclaim some UC property, but this whole star yard is overrun. I've patched up my ship, and I'm heading to Neptune. Going to put in another request to get the fleet out here to deal with these spacers. But until then, if any of you thugs are listening, I'm the damn ghost stealing your stuff in the night. Clear out while you have the chance.
It's almost daring the spacers to come after him. It's actually not a bad plan. Much better odds destroying one of their ships than fighting them all at once here.
Good day, Captain. How can I be of service, Captain? I will accept any and all items. How can I be of assistance? I will have. I will await your next order here.
time to take in the sights. That could be our vanguard. Something's wrong. The ship's weapons are powering up. Get ready.
If you stop shooting at us, we'd be more than happy to respond.
Really could use an assist.
We blow that ship out of the stars, he's dead and our artifact's gone. We're going to have to board. Target the engines. Once they stall out, we'll have our chance.
That's it. Start the docking routine.
Come on. Let's go rescue that vanguard. We have a clean dock, right on the money.
Good work. Was that your first boarding? I'd be happy to carry a few things for you. Sure, go ahead. Okay.
Am I glad to meet whoever you two are? Looks like we're all in one piece. Any day you walk away from, right? Ecliptic mercs. They'll work for anyone. And vanguards don't exactly make friends with local pirates, thieves, and scavengers. Think enough of them finally got fed up and they pooled their money to hire professionals. What? You guys still exist? Man, I've only heard stories.
We've heard stories too, about a strange object you found on patrol.
So, you know what that thing is? I tried to hawk it in Sidonia, and the guy thought I was peddling phony titanium.
It doesn't play nice with scanners. It'd be worthless to someone trying to flip rare minerals quickly.
So you're saying I shouldn't be using it as a hood ornament? Hey, sorry. I just didn't know what it was. But I guess that's what you all are for, right? Here, happy to trade a novelty for a rescue any day.
Let's grab the artifact. Good work. Let's get back to the lodge.
Thanks again for the rescue. Don't know what I would have done if you hadn't jumped in.
I don't suppose I have time for a nap before we leave? Back to the lodge, shall we? Ask whatever you'd like. Time to go? Had a good sleep?